We are coming to the end of the F1 24 era now. Some people have enjoyed it, other people not so much. But it's the scene of round 15 of the championship, the season 9 championship here in Silver. It is round 15? Yes, season 9. And of course, here at the International Losail Circuit, then, or Losail International Circuit, then. And tonight, we can crown a new world champion, and that champion could be Flippy, as you have seen in the comments below then. But listen to this before we go for the drivers and the constructors. Flippy has not has not lost a race since the British Grand Prix. And he has not, and of course, he even won that on track as well, Flippy has. So Flippy has not finished on circuit since, not been first across the line, across the finish line on the circuit, since the Canadian Grand Prix. That was round 8 of the championship. That is absolutely remarkable. And of course, since he has become a full-time driver, Flippy, he has finished on the podium in every single race, and that of course expands across 8 Grand Prix. It's incredible. Of course, his first race in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix sadly didn't go very well after the start, but and since then he has been in a remarkable form and is now on course. Oh, not on course maybe, but on the cusp of winning the drivers' championship. Really cool stuff indeed. Then, and let's read it out here. Then it is of course. Flippy. It can be crowned silver champion for season 99. Dylan needs to outscore him by 2 or more points and to keep the championship alive into the season finale next week. Obviously, I want it to go to the last race of the season because it's exciting. The other half of me does want it to go to the final race of the season next week because, of course, that means I have to do maths, and I do struggle with maths, sadly, which is not a very good thing. Then, unfortunately. Yes, we are good to go, Swiffy. Then let me give him the old thumbs up. No, I'll give him the crab actually, because I don't know where my thumbs up is. Oh, whoops! I've now turned the stream off as well. That's not very good, is it? Hang on a minute. Let me go back to where we was. That's where it was. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then, but drive to the constructor set and let's get going, shall we? So it is where is it? Oh yeah, Flippy 27 points on 200 points, and that's an incredible tally. Since That's an incredible tally there for for Flippy, and I think he's only had like 10, 12 starts, something like that. But Flippy then leads the way with Delando in second position. Now, Delando, always the bridesmaid, never the bride for Delando. Of course, he won the bronze championship, didn't he, a few seasons ago? But in silver, he's got so many podiums, so many Grand Prix wins. Delando, I keep calling him Delando, it's called Delano. But unfortunately, once again, it's looking a bit of an uphill struggle now, doesn't it? Nameless in third position. Nameless was top of the tree for majority of the season, but it's all gone a bit peak-tong in the last couple of races, and also he missed last race or the race before. So Nameless out of the championship now officially, along with Jay Higgs as well. Of course, we talked to Duke last week. He's been another the similar ilk as Flippy, really, isn't he? There, as Duke has also come in and made a splash as well in fifth position, a great 17. It's also turned the RB season around as well. Nicely done indeed. R2 beating six the Grand Prix winner in the opening stage of the season then was, but sadly has tailed off since then, unfortunately. Then we have got Kiki in 7th position there on 75 points, 57 points for Gordo, who I would say described the season as a bit disappointing for Gordo, but having said that, still being 8th in the championship is fantastic. Vesser in 9th position then, outscored his more illustrious teammate, tongue-in-cheek of Farfar, pretty impressed 17th there. One of the highlights of the silver season there, for me personally, it has been the Williams Fracas, hasn't it? It makes it very entertaining indeed, very similar to Alonso and Hamilton. Mayran in 10th position, the second RB. Then we have got Riley in 11th position there, which I'm surprised by. Riley, he deserves many more points than 36 in 11th position. Mr. Ranger Bull in 12th. Far in 13th on 30 points, and Camera Race on 28. 20 points for Nigel still. I must admit, Nigel is in great peril of maybe getting relegated from silver. Tori then on 19 points. Great drive last week from Tori, and driver of the day as well in Mexico, fantastic. Irvine on 18 points, 17 points for Reflections. Kaidal on 2, Marsky on 1 point, sadly. Constructors' Championship can be won today, but it has to have a massive point swing. We'll see how that goes. But Aston Martin are second then on 9 points, with 9 points behind the Red Bull team. Alpino in third position on 209 points, 183 for Kick Sauber. RB on 102, 95 for McLaren, 80 points for the Willie in 7th position there. Farf on 75, Ferrari on 75, 63 points for Mercedes, and Haas on 19, which I'm sure is the lowest points tally in ALR history in the constructor, certainly at this stage anyway. And right, we are on with the show. Good stuff indeed. That righty ho. Let me quickly get my old menu sorted out and all that kind of jazz, and away we go. Right then, that's it. I can't get the. I know that Knowlesy commented, but I can't get rid of this pinned comment, so that's annoying. Never mind. But I'm sure that. Hang on. Let me read it from this screen then. Knowles said, let's go Silver then. Good stuff indeed. Then finish Skyman, have we? Serious Mushroom saying that, how dare you, Mushroom? I'm an ever present professional. Last night I was working on something very important for next season ALR. For some reason I'm allergic to lion. Um, no, I was out and about for the I was out and about having a bit of a drink, really, and all that kind of good stuff. Easter bank holiday Easter weekend is usually my opportunity to go out and let my hair down. I don't let it down too often, mainly because being ginger and all that. Right, no offense, Flippy, but come on, Dylan, drag it out, lad. Dylan's a bride. That makes a. Oh gosh! Right, let's go. We're on to the show, shall we? Of course, so we've got cars out on that circuit already. Delano, of course, is a major. Oh, already a half spin already then here in the Los Angeles International Circuit. Los Angeles International Circuit, I should say that. As you can tell, I am probably been a bit worse for wear as well. And also, it's been WrestleMania weekend as well, which is also another reason why I'm going to be feeling a bit leery. As of course, yes. I do love a good old WrestleMania weekend. I prefer the Royal Rumble personally, but yeah, of course, I did watch it as well. I do quite enjoy men in their speedos for frolicking around the ring and all that kind of stuff. Great stuff. Delano then just warming up those tires one, and it's a difficult track to overtake on, isn't it? This one is, and of course, I think obviously that big DRS zone on the start-finish straight is the most. It's probably the most sensible opportunity to overtake it. We did have a lot of lunges into turn 6 last night, didn't we? Which was very interesting stuff indeed. Then also talking of last night as well, Immortal is 10th pole position of the season in gold, which I think is the most. I've got to have a look at that. I'm sure that is almost. I think that is almost, if not a record, which is incredible stuff indeed. And also, I think the last night as well, the Kick Sauber have been confirmed as the Constructors World Champions as well. So congratulations to the Kick Sauber team. Indeed, that's 2 Kick Saubers in gold and bronze that have been Constructors Champions. Tonight, the Constructors Championship can be wrapped up from either the Red Bull team or the Aston Martin in a way. No, I think it's more the Red Bull team, isn't it? But of course, that a lot of things have to go their way. And Nameless is back in the saddle tonight, along with RTB as well. Been pretty phenomenal in that Aston Martin this season, but they would like to at least have a Constructors' Championship if Nameless is not going to be crowned, or RTB is not going to be crowned a Drivers' Championship, which is not the case anymore. It is down to a 2-horse race now between this man here, Delano, and of course Flippy, who, as you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, I've lost my headset, at the top of the broadcast, has not finished off the podium since round number, where was it? I think it was the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It was the last time that Flippy finished off the podium, which is absolutely incredible stuff indeed then. And not since the British Grand Prix has he not won a Grand Prix for Flippy. Flippy is won 5 in a row now, hasn't he? Incredible stuff indeed then for Flippy. So when I say the British Grand Prix, for some reason I do feel that it should be more than 5 races ago. Goodness gracious me, that is the nature of having a short season this season. The calendar hasn't been announced yet for next season, but I have a feeling we'll be going back into the more traditional 20 round, at least maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on, of course, how the stewards and the governing body decide to work out season 13 at 11%. Across the line, there goes Delano going and setting the early pace out of a 21-3 so far. Gamma Racer is only a whisker, a feather away at the moment there from Delano. And then we got a Ferrari followed by a Red Bull and a McLaren in the background there. And that is Drugovic then, Ahmad Drugovic. And great to see Drugovic making their debut tonight then as Torre has gone fast there. But great stuff indeed there for the Ferrari driver. Awesome stuff indeed then. And I'm not sure if he's related to Felipe Drugovic or not, but it's great to have him in the cockpit here tonight. Then Vesser goes full fast as motor, whilst Torre goes fast. And great drive last time out for Torre. Really, since he's got this full-time Red Bull seat, he is very much really started to impress, similar to Flippy was, because Flippy didn't get a podium on his 2 reserve appearances, and all of a sudden he really took off. And I think that's going to be the same for Torre now as well, with a great podium, with a great drive last time out in Mexico City. Here goes Mayranov and throwing it into turn 1 now. Fastest so far by a 10th of a second. And there he showed then. Too much info on your preference, Sean. Serious mushroom. Of course, I do like to share my hobbies and interests, which probably you probably shouldn't do. Here's on board with Jay Hinks. Great season as well with Jay Hinks. This could be the second season in a row now that Jay Hings will be finishing fourth. So consistent is Jay Hings there. And of course, I think at the top of the season, I certainly predicted Jay Hings to be a championship contender, and he was, wasn't he, for most of the season? But has come up slightly short though for Jay Hings as it comes up to the line as well for the Red Bull. Red Bull, as we said, can be crowned champion, a constructor championship here tonight, but Aston Martin have to have an absolute horror show of a. An absolute horror show of a race tonight. Then on board with Flippy now. Then as we're on board, got on board with Flippy as we're coming to the final sector now. We're on sector 2 at the moment. Now for 27-1 in the second split time there for Flippy. Flippy there, of course, could make history tonight and going wide there. But I thought that would have been a track extension. But all fine and dandy for Flippy. This is a tough old circuit. This one is there. Of course, 12 minutes ago in this qualifying session. This is a tough old circuit. This one is there. And look at the amount of steering angle that Flippy had to input there coming out of the final turn. Goodness gracious me there, but the car was so compliant there across the line there, 200 a second away. Great time indeed there for Flippy. R2B follows him not too far in the background there, but R2B there is about 4 seconds off the slowest time at the moment, which is the two Haas cars of Qatar and Reflections. Potentially both Haas drivers could be relegated from this championship. And all said and done this time next week there, which would be an absolute shame there, wouldn't it, for Qatar, because technically Qatar and Marseille can still escape the drop zone, but with only 1 and 2 points apiece this season, it's not been a vintage season by any stretch of the imagination, sadly then, which is unfortunate. As just watching RTP, then I wonder if he's going to go for a second time run. Now then, of course, we are in the final stage of the championship, though. Got only 2 more rounds, including tonight there. 52 points are still up for grabs. Then in the, talking of grabs, then R2B's front left tire there, grabbing there as R2B accelerates now. It's 52 points up for grabs in the championship. Currently a 27-point deficit between Delano and between Flippy. Then after the results in Mexico last week, Flippy has been in a different time zone, and I'm sure that also Flippy did finish third last night, if I'm not very much mistaken, on his gold debut. So Flippy is looking quite incredible, isn't he? Looking forward to seeing Flippy going on to gold. Then can Flippy become the first ever driver to win? Well, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I think I am. Then RTB only 13 fast on that second time run then, but that was 2 hot laps on those soft tires. So that could be one of the reasons why the time has not really been too impressive. Quite out onto the dolly wheels, back into the garage now, and of course as on board with Kiki in the McLaren. Kiki so impressive this season in qualifying, but overall I wonder if Kiki might be a bit disappointed with this season's campaign potentially. On board with camera racing now then, of course, on his second time run, and to me as that McLaren going well up there, I think that's Nigel there, who is not having a great season either, sadly, in that McLaren Mercedes head. Camera Racer having another set of soft tyres out there now, so this is his second soft tyre run. I'm wondering, because I don't think he's going to have any soft tyres for the race then, is he? Will Favre move down? He will. As Liam is in the has joined us. I think Vintage was meant to be in this race tonight then, but Camera Racer, well that's that curtains for that lap then. Just watching the champion, the man who's second in the world championship at the moment is Delano. Favre will move down if he gets relegated. Of course, Favre is still very much in that relegation, but I think he had one good race. That's harsh, isn't it? He had a good race actually a couple of weeks ago, which got him out of that relegation battle, so to speak. He is still mathematically in a chance of being relegated, as is probably a lot of the bottom drivers in the bottom half of the of the championship table. But unless of course we have an incredible race for the positions then around 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. I don't see Favre being involved in the relegation scrap so far. But of course, as I said, then that'll be my famous last words. And of course, which was sung by. Oh gosh, who was it sung by? That's going to really annoy me now. Oh gosh, I used to like that band when I was younger. When of course I had black hair and all that kind of stuff. Across the line there comes Delano, and Delano goes fourth fastest. Does not improve his time there. which is unfortunate. Oh, My Chemical Romance, that's it. Goodness gracious me. Plopper says Serious Mushroom there. As Tory there is a third fastest one in here because May ran off and using a bit of track we do not rent out there. And unfortunately, because of that, the lap is not going to count. Here comes Duke, who, as we said, a bit like Flippy, in the in this like latest class of new drivers, the likes of Flippy and Duke and Tory as well. I'll put there as well. Very quick customers for next season, and very much looking forward to that. With Flippy almost guaranteed to now be in gold for next season. I think he is actually, to be honest. With Flippy in gold next season, then I think the Duke and Tory are going to be picking up the reins then for championship, for favourites for the championship next season. But of course, I am certainly getting a bit too excited here, and because we cannot determine that until a wheel has turned on F1 25, of course. So the cars could be different and all that kind of stuff. I've heard from Alexander, as Gamer goes so fast, I've heard from Alexander Knowlesy that he has been doing a bit of research, of course, which of course is what we expect of a great man, because he knows he wants to do some homework on next season's game and all that kind of jazz. But he has heard. Alexander was saying about the Hamlin model is going to be between 23 and this game 24 potentially. So his name is going 3 times per second up in the second sector, and look at that then in terms of using all the track there. Absolutely fantastic, expert position here from Nameless, who has been the championship favourite for a lot of the time in the championship. But it's just gone a bit awry, hasn't it, in the last couple of Grand Prix or so for Nameless, which is such a shame then. Of course, it hasn't scored. Carson now comes, that name's going 7 fastest. Hasn't won a Grand Prix since the British Grand Prix, and hasn't been on the podium since the British Grand Prix either, and that's what's been undone the second half of the season there, as Flippy goes fast there by 0.2 of a second there from May Ranoff, who did come in the pits after his lap was invalidated there. So Flippy is now pole position so far. Flippy has got pole position for the 3 times so far. Of course, we've got AC Immortal, who's basically been on pole position 10 times in his season so far. But in silver, then, it's been much more from Monopoly in terms of. Hang on, I think I got that wrong. I think it's the opposite. Monopoly as Jay Hing starts his lap now in 9th position. But it's been very much more of a reserved spot for gold there. But in silver, it's been anyone's ball game. It's been about who has been on top in that day in history, of course. So currently, at the moment, it is flipping, and as Liam takes a very late dart into the garage now. Barf is out on circuit. We've got Flippy, who's just been on pole position now. Let's take a look and see what Camaro's doing. He's on the second part of the lap now. He's got a yellow flag right in front of us here. Drugovic is up to 10th now. Great time there for Drugovic. Making their debut tonight is Drugovic. I love saying that word. It makes you feel a bit more professional saying Drugovic, because it makes you feel like a proper F1 commentator, which is all cool indeed, isn't it? Great stuff. Of course, just flicking on board now to Camaro as we go a bit wide there, but all fine and done. You've got to use all the curbs around here, don't you? Very good stuff indeed then. Flippy for champ, says Knowles then, as Camera Racer has invalidated their time, and as unfortunately right at the very end then, the final couple of corners then, Camera's invalidated the time, and I'm sure that he's going to be a bit frustrated by that. So, but very similar to one Pablo Montoya. I remember Montoya having an interview, as we just watched what Jay Hinks does, good 9 fastest. I remember Montoya having an interview about talking about the old session of old style of qualifying there, where he used to build up, and of course Montoya and Schumacher actually, they used to find the limits. They used to build up, and then they used to find the limits and see what they can get away with. And if they went over the limit, then they knew what they could and couldn't do. And I think the Camera Racer has now found that limit on the final sector of the lap, which means that Camera Racer will not overstep those limits now, and knows exactly what it needs to do to improve its position, which is currently the 3rd row of the grid. 22 dead on tires. I won't mind that there. It says Vessier as just watching Farfar finished up as outside Farfar, three-time Grand Prix winner in silver, three-time Grand Prix winner in gold as well as Farfar. An illustrious career in ALR has Farfar, but has never been crowned champion, and I think that includes constructors champion as well. I think the only champion in the admin division, in the admin squad, apart from me obviously, coming up to 14 passes now, apart from me obviously, it's actually Smithy Almighty with a 3 constructors championships to his name now, which I think it is that a record? I'm not sure. I think that I need to check, because I think Sam Swift Ninja is also a 3-time constructors champion as well. But incredible stuff indeed that Smithy is the only admin that has won a championship of any form in ALR. But as I said, that's of course I'm a champion as well, but not in ALR and also not online either. I count my career as one of my championship making seasons, of course. Having said that, I don't think I've won a championship on career so far this game then, which I got to get a move on really. Otherwise, that's not going to be. I don't think I won a career championship in a very long time actually. Goodness gracious me. They call him Flippy, faster than lightning. It's frightening. Everyone can see he's quicker than me. To be fair, I was going to start singing that, but then I said a bit of profanity in that comment there from Sarah's Mushroom, and I've got my profanity buzzer out tonight as well. And to be fair, I need to. To be fair, you might catch out today as I am a bit little worse for wear. Also, talking of which, we've got 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session. I wanted to ask your opinions actually on the turn 1 incident between Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. Of course, Verstappen got a 5-second penalty. I see a lot of people said it was harsh, other people said it was fair. Yeah, what do I think of it? Well, to be honest, it doesn't matter what I think of it, to be honest, does it really? But I think that Max Charlie probably should have given that position there. But we've seen a lot of that in F2 as well. I think it was Gabriel Mini that kept doing that on the sprint race. Or was it the feature? On the sprint race where the drivers were cut at the inside and he had to bail because they wasn't giving him enough room. Potentially was forcing him off the circuit there. But every time that happened for Gabriel Mini, he did, is it Gabriel Mini or someone else? I don't know, but I know his last name is Mini there, of course, the young French driver. I think driving for Prima in F2, which is cool to see. I do like Prima, but having said that, I don't know, any of them have none of them have got the iconic red, white and green livery, which is shocking stuff indeed. Of course, the one thing I don't like about F2 is, of course, they have some of the junior drivers do carry the liveries of their. Oh, is a camera racer, unfortunately, once again has invalidated his time. Has he got enough time? He hasn't, because he's going to have to go around again. And yes, he hasn't got enough time. So Camera Racer is not going to be able to improve. There's a lot of frustration there from Camera Racer, and that's his qualifying done and dusted. Delando has abandoned his time as well. May ran off then, and so it goes into turn 1. Look how much of the outside track he takes. It's fantastic. Billant is now in 70th position. I'd like to see Billant back at full time next season. Far out of qualifying, he's had enough. But Kyle in the cut to the second sector now. He's actually finished in the second sector now. 19 seconds to go in this qualifying session then, as we come up to the final part of the lap. Now, goodness me, there's a kick Sauber right on the inside there. Of course, that used to be where the old pit-in entrance used to be around here. That may not have helped Kaida ever so slightly, but having said that, it doesn't matter. Kaida's got 12 fastest on row 6 of the field. Checkered flag is fallen in as Camera Racer and Liam has taken the checkered flag then. What about Drugovic? Here is Drugovic at 41 inches a second up, and in the top 10 on their debut. That is supreme stuff for the Ferrari driver across the line and improves by 0.2 of a second there, just a whisker behind Jay Higgs. What a strong end to the lap there. Reflections out to the line as well. Reflection stays 13th and behind his teammate Kaidal, who has been pretty impressive in the last couple of races, hasn't he, for Kaidal, and could have and should have got many more points than what he has done. But sadly though, you cannot. Where's R2B? R2B goes in somewhere. I didn't see where he went there. Mayranov is on pole position. I have missed the pole position. I was too confused. But Mayranov is on pole position there. The Williams driver of Vester got at the 12 fastest there. A gamer's gone up into front, and of course a multiple Grand Prix winner in this championship. Duke has got second fastest. Flippy's on pole position then for the Qatar Grand Prix. And that is in prime position now for him to clinch the Drivers' Championship with just 2 rounds to go. Kiki going up in the third fastest right at the end there. Great job there for Kiki. And Nameless has gone into fifth there for Nameless and trying to keep Aston Martin's Constructors' Championship alive. But him and R2B. R2B is currently right down into 16th position there. Irvine has gone up into 18th. Irvine, one of the many drivers, is nervously looking over their shoulder in terms of relegation. And Tory goes 8 faster than this. And all row 4, row 7. But it's pole position number 4 for tonight for Flippy. Not tonight, I mean, as in the season. Flippy on pole position for the 4th time. And I think that's the most pole positions anyone has got in this season then. And fantastic indeed. Now it's Flippy's first pole position since the Dutch Grand Prix a few seasons ago then. But congratulations to Flippy in the kick Sauber. That is perfect, isn't it? That's exactly what he wanted to do. Want to start at the front of the field then, and of course have no issues then. And no issue there with the drivers behind him, and that is supreme stuff indeed then. So Flippy is going to be overjoyed with this result. I have no doubt about that. Fantastic stuff indeed. Camera, take a pill. Tight track, this one is May ran off. We've also got Verstappen's fault. Shameful, says Serious Mushroom there. Good. I do think that Verstappen should have given back the position personally. And for some reason, Tory hasn't got any tyres. That's probably why he qualified down 8th position there. You kind of need tyres to get the car going, really, because that is the 4 contact patches, isn't it, of the circuit. But yeah, Tory there, only 8th. I say only 8th, I'd love to have been 8th. But 8th position on the grid there. But with no tyres, that's probably why he struggled a bit there. Flippy on pole position there for the 4th time at this season. Fantastic. I made a very rookie error. I've forgotten to get me squash, so that's not good, is it? I'm all tied up now as well, so not in that way. I'm all tied. I'm all tied up now, so so unfortunately I cannot move. We was meant to have Fanjo coming in. Coming in and race tonight, but sadly, Fanjo didn't race tonight as well. By the way, happy 90th Grand Prix start. Happy 90th Grand Prix start tonight for Nigel. Happy 95th Grand Prix start tonight for Camera Racer as well. And who else? There was someone else who also had a good who's on mark to and happy 40th as well to Jay Hings there. Of course, talking of milestones tomorrow night, it is actually Hungry Styles and Serious Mushrooms 100th Grand Prix start in bronze tomorrow night then, which is really cool stuff indeed. There, my stolen Alex Thunder there. Tomorrow night, but sadly for Knowlesy, he was meant to be in the commentary box tonight. Mainly, well, firstly, I forgot that I told Alex that I wasn't going to be here tonight, which is good stuff. I thought it was Sunday as well, but also he's not feeling too well at the moment. Alex, I keep calling him Alex. Knowlesy, I don't know why. I quite like calling people their first names when I know that they like to be called their surnames. I just think it's funny, but that's because I'm childish. But Knowlesy, then of course, is not. Knowles has got sadly the bout of COVID again, which very good then. So Knowles not feeling well at all tonight, and I think it was quite lucky for Knowles that I've got a memory of the size of a walnut. Otherwise, yeah, Knowles would be a little would not be feeling too well. So hopefully Knowles is better for tomorrow. Otherwise, we might have to get far from the comms box. To be honest, to be fair, actually, one of my favourite streams ever was seeing Favre commentating the Canadian Grand Prix a few seasons ago, when I was gallivanting it to Alton Towers, I think it was, or Cheese and Turn, can't remember which one it was now. Flippy pole, anyway, let's get through this grid, shall we? Goodness gracious me, Sean, a little bit of decorum. Flippy pole position, May round in second position. Third position is Kiki with Duke in fourth. Fifth is Nameless and Gamer in sixth position. Gamer is the first driver to start on the hard tyres. Everyone else on the medium so far. Seventh position is Jay Higgs with Tory in 8th position there. Serious Russian just said that good time on rims by Tory. Absolutely. Ninth position is Delano, who's on the hard tires. I remember Delano had a similar strategy in Mexico City just a week ago. Cameron in 10th position, then Drugovic in 11th position, making his debut. Good luck to Drugovic. Nigel in his 90th Grand Prix start as a silver driver. Fantastic numbers in 12th position there, but Nigel has not had much to write about tonight. Vester in 30th position with Kyle Allen Reflections 14th and 15th. RTP in 16th. Farf on the hard tires in 17th position. Farf was not a happy chappy last week in 7th division, getting bashed about a bit. Irvine in 18th finish there, Billett in 19th finish there, and Liam D in Liam D. Sorry, that's years ago. Liam in 20th position now for the Qatar Grand Prix. So this is round 15 of the championship. A good 17 then. 300 soon, a missed one then, says Cyrus Mushroom, since he made his debut in season 1 of Russia of Silver, which also leads to third season of Gold, and he's never missed a Grand Prix since. Lights out, and it's go here in Qatar then for round 15 of the championship. A crucial day then for the championship as Flippy gets a great run into turn 1. Kiki on the outside of Mayranov, but Mayranov is going to squeeze him out wide. No, he isn't. Kiki is coming through, whatever the weather. Fantastic then. It's a Kiki second position there. Gamer has Nameless a fightable position. There's a Ghost in there as well. Nameless is down a couple of positions there. And Nameless said that's not ideal for Aston Martin. It's one of the Alpines almost having an issue at the back of the field. Camera leads second position then. As the two Mercedes, it's the Aston Martin and Mercedes are coming to blows. And Nameless has dropped down to 10th position. There's contact at the back between one of the Haas cars. As a goodness, great spin. The other Hassels are getting bashed up by Drugovic there. Let's go. R2B is down into 14th position as well. Vessier is fighting with Nameless, who is just out having an uphill struggle at the opening stage. And Nameless had a horrible start, a terrible start for the Aston Martin driver. Same for Jay Haynes as well. Magnificent start there for Nigel Vessier at 3rd position at the moment. That's a good start indeed. Flippy has been peerless so far. We've had issues, and Vessier has dropped down to the back of the field, and he's loved the helmet. But sadly for Vessier, he's had an issue there as he got damage to the front nose cone of the Williams car. No, all the aero pieces look to be in the right direction, Ish said, which is probably not what he wants to hear. Coming into the final turn, well, he doesn't want to hear that they're Ish, does he? He wants to know that they're decent. Already, Flippy, before DRS has even been activated, Flippy is already getting a bit defensive. Lovely shot from the shoulder of Flippy there, so we go into turn 1 again. Kick Sauber leads in front of the McLaren Mercedes, in front of the RB, which of course, thankfully, would be called the Racing Ball officially for next season, which would be fantastic indeed. That as just going through the driver's head, of course, what is that? Is that Haas? That's Farfen with an end plate missed, and his teammates may have all his pieces, but sadly Farf does it. Yellow flag then as Reflections is off the circuit in the Haas cars. Well, this is a horrible track. I like this track, but I mean, it's a horrible track then if you've got any damage there, and sadly that, whoa, and who's that? That's Bella then, who's, goodness gracious me, he wants to go to Abu Dhabi early, but Bella down into 17th finish there. Farf is already on DRS range because of the horrific understeer he's going to feel on that Williams car. And what is Farf going to do? Is he going to have to come the pits? The problem with this circuit, the problem really is actually quite a nice problem there. I would say that safety cars around here are going to be difficult to happen. You have to have a major off to get a safety car around here. As you can see, the far distance there, of course, the World Cup of 2022 stadium, and then the host of the World Cup 22 final then. As Vester trying to recover, and there's Liam all over the gearbox now on the Williams drive. Then lap 2 completed. Kiki wants a second Grand Prix win of the season, and then Flippy. Also we've got Duke Fly as well. Here comes Kiki. He takes the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix, and fantastically, Gamers lost 2 positions in this scrap, and the Aston Martin diving down the inside of the first ever ALR World Champion. Nigel was in contact. They were slowly getting wheel to wheel on the inside now as well, and then the Aston Martin there has taken 9th position, gets past it. Nameless back up in the 9th position, trying to make some track position that he lost there on the opening series of corners in this one there, but Nameless has steadied the ship then and is back going once again, and Kiki is leading this race there with Mayran is now in 2nd position. Flippy has dropped down into 3rd position there. As you already heard that, the ball is in the court though. Delano, he He needs to score, outscored by 2 points at least, and to keep the championship alive. Why is that? Because Delano's only had 1 Grand Prix win, whilst Flippy has had 5. So even if they're equal on points, the countback would mean that Flippy will still win the Drivers' Championship, of course. That is what is in for today. Constructors' Championship, 9 points separates the Red Bull and the Aston Martin teams then. Maybe that, I think, might be the champagne's going to be put on ice then. On board then with Billett then, who's on the outside here. We've also got the 2 Mercedes drivers fighting there. Oh, Billett almost makes contact. Vesser on the outside. Great manoeuvre from Vesser. Great 70 then back here. As Nigel then is now all over the gearbox as well. DRS then is going to be swapping positions here, isn't there? So this DRS is very powerful down the back straight because of the really big rear wings there. And Mayranov has taken the lead. Kiki has dropped down the third position as they go into turn 1. Duke is just a bit of a spectator at the moment. Let's look at this, and now here comes Nigel, and they're still fighting on the outside. And I think that Flippy, as Flippy then, oh goodness, I didn't know who to look at, but Flippy, who is now in second position there, almost got the lead there with Kiki down into third position there. Look at the top 4, they have 5. I mean, they have completely broken away from the rest of the field. 3-second penalty. 3-second penalties will be a major factor in this one as Gamer has lost down in 7th position. Gamer is up as high as 7th, I think then. Drugovic sadly getting a penalty as well, but also I think Kaida got a penalty as Tori has from position there. Let's go with this battle because I don't know who to watch, and there's fighting all over the show here. Tori's now in the 4th position there. The Red Bull driver knows that there's a lot of pressure on the Red Bull driver coming in and filling the shoes of Kian, and my goodness gracious me then, and he is absolutely doing a great job and keeping Red Bull's championship constructors' hopes alive then. I was one man in doubt then. Without Kian, Red Bull struggled to be able to keep back the might of the Aston Martin with Nameless and R2B at the wheel, but my goodness me, they're doing a fantastic job. Kiki's almost out of DRS, and that is going to raise alarm bells from the McLaren team. So Kiki is going after, he's in DRS, and that's crucial. They cannot complete lap 4 of this Grand Prix. And now here comes Flippin' and the pole sitter. They're coming back up and into the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. Magnificent step indeed there. I'll read out your comments in just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. Free abreast in the turn 1. Nameless is in. Oh, he isn't there. Contact there. Delano doesn't want to get too much damage here. He would rather have a straightforward race there, but he needs to be higher up. Then contact again between Delano and Nameless. 2 championship rivals for most of this season then, but I think both have been outpaced by Flippy in the last 2 Grand Prix. At the moment, Flippy, as it stands, is on course to win the championship for silver, to be the 9th ever silver champion of ALR. As the back end is trying to step out. Gamer then on board with Gamer then coming out of turn 6 potentially. Look at this conga line forming behind Nameless, who's out of DRS, but Camera is also out of DRS in 6th position as well. But Camera luckily will not have a DRS threat from Nameless, because Nameless is also out of his DRS as well, so that shouldn't be too bad at all then. Flippy leads 10 for a second and in front of Mayran in second position. Kiki is still in DRS. That is crucial at the moment for his race, and Kiki out of the championship sadly, but Kiki wants to win his 2nd Grand Prix of the season. Mayranov wants to win his 1st Grand Prix of the season. Now Flippy wants to win 6 in a row. Goodness me, so greedy, isn't he? Back into the fire, onto the start finish straight once again. Flippy leads 2nd position as Mayran. 3rd is Kiki at the moment, then followed by Tori, followed by Duke. There's almost a 3-second gap then to the rest of the gang of cars. Mayran back in the lead at Qatar then. And my goodness gracious me, then Flippy knows that he could win the championship today, but surely he must also think about surely he's a racer. He wants to win this Grand Prix as well. Delano on the inside of Nameless, be the outside then into turn 2. Incredible race then, but he's been forced out ever so slightly wide there because Nameless is not going to let him by there. No DRS set up into turn 4. So as it stands, Nameless is still in 7th position there. Delano and 8. Hings in 9th position. Gamer in 10th position. Nigel is on the cusp in 11th position there. And then after that, whoa, they Constantine up into turn 6. I absolutely love it then. Flippy, and Mayran leads then. Flippy in 2nd position. Kiki in 3rd. 4th is Tori. Great drive again from Tori then. 4th position so far. That's brilliant indeed. The biggest mover is actually Irvine. As we got issues at the back there. Liam spun the car at turn 6. Sadly, I must admit, turn 6 is one of the more difficult corners on this circuit. Farf has been in the pits whilst we've been waffling on then. So Farf is now forced himself into a 2-stopper here. Farf needs a safety car to get himself back into this one. Into the final corner as well. Then May run off and hugging the curb out of the final turn now once again. Now here comes Flippy then. And of course Kiki is now 4 tenths of a second back. Then Tori is 5 tenths of a second back. more issues. There's a McLaren. Oh no, it's Nigel. This 90th Grand Prix star has spun the car, and that was on the exit of 15. I'm looking at the wrong car. May Randolph has lost the lead with Kiki is now in front of this as well. Delander's got past Nameless. What about Jay Hinks? There's Axel all over the show. Irvine now in 6th position. He got past R2B. He's having a sniff, but Nameless there and takes the corner line then, and it's still in 8th. Oh my word there. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, which I forgot to say, or I forgot to mention since the start of this Grand Prix, that of course, what am I saying? I don't really know, to be honest. That of course, Sarah, he's on the harder tyres, and he's the highest driver on the harder tyres as well, along with a Gamer on the hard tyres as well, and also Liam also on the hard tyres. Get well soon, Alex. My last Lurgy episode was horrible. Yeah, absolutely. Get well soon, Alex. And of course, sadly, Knowles has had like COVID like 3-4 times there. Unfortunately, for Alex, and it's not a nice thing at all. I don't think I've ever had COVID, but I'm sure I had it one Christmas, but I kept coming up negative. But then again, that probably was I was probably testing my blood type instead. Just watch it. I don't actually know what my blood type is, though, to be fair. It could be anything from A to Z, to be fair. Flippy, who's now leading this race, but I think the Duke is feeling very interested in that 4th position now. But I'll read the comments out in just a few moments. Of course, Tiger, and then hey there, love the show as always. Let's go. Great to see you. Of course, Tiger, Tegan, I should say, was of course a Grand Prix. I can't remember. Were you a Grand Prix winner in golf then potentially, but certainly on the podium a few times as well. Nameless in 7th position there. R2B has got past Irvine and moved himself back up the order. Drugovic in 14th position there for Drugovic. And the the Williams there half spun the car, and sadly he was just too close there. Drugovic was contact with the Williams, and it's got damage to that Ferrari. Oh, that is horrible for Drugovic. That is so unlucky, isn't it, for the Ferrari driver? Then, because the debutant Drugovic was having a superb Grand Prix so far, but down in 14th now with wing damage as well. Already out of DRS, back on board with Kiki. Now we're on board with Drugovic. Now on board with Duke then, who is just keeping tabs on what's going on, dude. Then. Well, balance again then. As Tegan, do you have a league on PC? I haven't. On other places as well. If there's a league, I'd love to check it out. Then only PS5 at the moment. Serious Red saying, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. To be honest, I think the admins have been thinking about the crossplay, but I'm sure that they have fought against it for now. That it will be at the crossplay's been out for a while now, hasn't it? There, but it's certain. But I think that there's. I don't think the admins really trust the crossplay. Yeah, I said cosplay. I don't know crossplay. Goodness me, I'll do that on my own time. Flippy leads, 2nd position, who just re-overtake May Ranover, has just got more overtaken than as Dylan does not want to lose a wing here because he is going for a long game. Nameless is back through, and Camera Racer has also been reeled in then on these Gagler cars. So Camera Racer is struggling on those tyres. And when is they going to come in the pits? And when is the pit stop winner's going to open? Drugovic has to come in. He's been forced to come in and go on the hard tyres. So it's not as bad situation as going up the inside. Down up the inside was X Gamer and back into 9th position there. So X Gamer's recovered nicely. Irvine in 11th position now. Sadly, with Nigel's escapade a few laps ago, this gaggle of 5 cars was 6, was it? It's also Camera Racer underlying his struggles there with, unfortunately, a penalty, which is sad to see that for Camera Racer. But of course, we don't even have distance yet, are we? So let's crossplay works the next game then. Yeah, that's the leaderboard. Kind of clunky. Any chance you could shrink it a bit then? Easy. Of a screen space that as I was taken, yeah, Serious Russian said the same thing actually. I think it needs to be a bit slimline, doesn't it, next season? Yeah, there's a leaderboard potentially, and as I come up to the line as well, because there's a lot of I've got me telemetry on the background as now as we got Mayran taking the lead there of the Qatar Grand Prix once again. This is very similar to the Spa race, isn't it, where we use the track isn't similar, is it? Oh no, and that's a McLaren again, and it's the same corner for Nigel. And goodness gracious me, then Nigel, it's been a challenging 2 seasons for Nigel, hasn't it? In silver, it's a downward spiral, isn't it? Where you start to struggle, and I think it's similar to Farm as well. When you have a bad season. And if you have a bad season, just can't get the form back. And I think that Nigel's in that position well now. R2 coming in very early here. It's a very slow pit in here. I think it's about 60 kilometers an hour, if I'm not very much mistaken, or is it 80? I'm not sure. Maybe I should do a bit more research rather than saying things that I think, saying things that I have know nothing about. Tegan saying, I really want to get back into league racing and open up this year away, and I miss it a lot. I'm looking forward to no assist league next year. Let me know if there's something like that. There's good something then. And also, I got to read this comment out as well because, of course, there's something nice about me. No joke, this is the best race culture I've ever heard. The energy, the flow, it's just another level. Thank you very much, Tegan. That's the reason why I read that up. But Tegan does speak a lot of sense there. But I appreciate that, Tegan. But I must admit, I think that you must be excited about getting back into league racing. As we go up into turn one again, then Mayran leads the race. Flippy is now Mayran is not leading the race. It's Flippy in second position. Yeah, there may be flow, Tegan, but there's never any sense that comes out of my mouth. And up the inside there goes Camaro as we just sit on the last lap. How much time Camera lost it, and now Delando's going to be on the outside of Camera, but Camera's going to fall, my word there. Very close indeed. Then Camaro is no, not Camaro, sorry. And look at this, and now the Mercedes, and that's great teamwork there for the Mercedes-Benz drivers there. And Delando is lost out, is now down in 9th position there, unfortunately for Delando. And I got to say that I'm not sure if that teamwork was it was a part of the dream work faction there, but that certainly worked out to supreme effect there. Really good stuff indeed there from the boys from Brackley. Delano now down in 9th position there, and Jay Hings there also wants to strike as well. Farfin Drugovic on a great old scrap there from 19th and 20th position there. Both drivers was hamstrung by damage there. Did not know what happened to Farfin, but Drugovic had issues with when Vesser has spun and he drove into the side of him. That's so unlucky there, really for Drugovic. I think the only crime that Drugovic made there was he was just too close to Vesser, and that's not really a crime, is it there? As we just got welcome to Bronzer. Your blood type is Nutella then. I think my blood type is probably gravy, to be honest. To come across the line once again. I hope that I don't offend anyone here, but I don't really like Nutella, to be honest. Into the pits then. We got a couple of flurry pit stops here. Nameless and Camaro, both in the pits. I'm not surprised by Camaro Racer. He was struggling on those hot medium tyres there. We're going to expect him to go onto the hard tyres now. Then didn't a couple of years ago, this used to be a two-stopper, didn't it? Wasn't it medium soft then? But not these days. Then it's sadly medium hard tyres. I kind of hope then that the strategy does. I hope that next year then the strategy's a bit more, not so straightforward then really, and maybe there's a bit more, as Sam Swift Ninja says, there's a bit more options in terms of strategy. That's my wish anyway. But of course, sadly then I don't think Codemaster's going to listen to me, or EA, or whoever's developing the game. But I do have good hopes for next year's game, and mainly because I'm actually looking forward to my team and having it being a bit more customizable. And the fact is that you don't have to race as an owner, which never made sense to me. Goodness me. Well, I haven't said that, of course. Remember in the past, F1 owners have raced for their teams, haven't they? I think that Jack Brown did he race for his team once? I'm sure he did. And Fittipaldi, I think that Graham Hill did as well, didn't he? Was it like Hill Embassy or something like that? I must admit, my knowledge back in the 60s is pretty rubbish, to be honest. It did happen back in the day. Look at them all coming in the pits, but Flippy has stayed out there. And Mayranov has got a 10-second penalty. That is going to be, that's curtains, I think, for Mayranov there. Oh dear, that is not ideal at all, is it? Kiki in the pits now and going on to the hard tyres and coming out of the pits now. And is that a sluggish stop there? No, it's okay there for Torre. And Mayranov will be out now, but a 10-second penalty. That's all but finished his hopes of a podium, I feel, in this race. And Irvine now put in 6th position there for Irvine. So Flippy and Duke did not pit here, but now Flippy can get on with his program now, and could now start to, instead of defending and worry about Mayranov and Kiki and the rest of them, he's now going to just try and get his toe down and start to really think about it. Fuel could be an issue as well. Someone's fuel light was already flashing, wasn't it, when we had the telemetry up? I can't remember who it was. I think it was actually Tories, wasn't it? You're going to call your team Sean Dretty. That's a great name. Liam's got a 3-second penalty. As Camera Racer up in the 12th position, Liam in a 13th position. I need to find a decent team name. I did have Rage Racing last year or the year before, but I think I might get towed off by... wasn't that? I'm sure Rage Racer was a game, wasn't it? Oh, that might have been Ridge Racer, actually. As Camaro has got past Liam. Liam, of course, has not got the tools for the job at the moment because currently he's on 12 lap old hard tyres. Liam is there. And I think me and Liam will renew our rivalries tomorrow as well. Of course, as we, to be fair, actually, I don't think I raced much with Liam last week, mainly because some rogue Mr. Elite took me off, and which is disgraceful behaviour. And of course, Mr. Rage was Mr. Elite will sadly be getting a lifetime ban into the pits. So comes Duke and coming out of the pits. Rage gets a 3-second penalty. By the way, I joke. It was just a first lap incident, to be honest, because Mr. Elite there. I'm not sure if you've seen it on stream, to be honest. All you see was me torpedo off to the left, didn't you, on the stream? Which, to be honest, you wouldn't have been surprised if I made that mistake on my own. It was just a first lap incident, really, and Mr. Elite was just trying to recovering, wasn't he, after spinning in. So, yeah, just a racing incident, sadly. And to be fair, actually, it could have been that bad because I rage quite a lot normally, and I've asked Mushroom, who was in the party with me last week. I was actually very, very cool about it. I think all I said was, I'm in the war, or something like that. So just watching Tori, and I think I did have a little rage the week before, though. I can't know what race it was now. I think it was probably because I think I rage more when I'm really slow. I mean, like, accidents happen in motor races, of course, that's the whole part there, isn't it? That's part and parcel, but I think I rage more when I know I'm definitely slow. So it's going to be a lot of raging tomorrow night, because I'm absolutely rubbish at this circuit. I enjoy driving it, though, I must say, but my pace around here is pretty woeful. Into the pits and comes Flippy, then, of course, Flippy has been undefeated in this championship for the last 5 races. Looking for those lime green kick salver. I don't think it's lime green, is it? But in the pits now, Name's got 3-second penalty. And out of the pits now comes Flippy. Gamer lead, second position Delando. I can't remember the last time Gamer won a race in Silver. I'm thinking season 5, to be honest, but Gamer has not been a full-time driver in Silver for a long time then. And Kiki has taken the lead then. Look, so Flippy, even look at that. That's incredible. And a lot of drivers are going to be sinking, hearts are going to be sinking about that. On the outside there goes Tori, and up into, there's wheel-to-wheel action there. Flippy down into 6th position now, unfortunately. The Duke also keeping tabs on as well. And so the drivers' hearts are going to be sinking slightly here, because that is an extra 2 laps that Flippy has done on the medium tyres, and he has not lost any time whatsoever. That's incredible stuff indeed there. I can concur, says a serious person there. I was very well behaved last week, I must say. Week before I wasn't, goodness me. Yeah, but the less said about that, the better. Just on board with Tori at the moment. So Flippy down in 6th position. He's got a bit of overtaking to do now, Flippy has. Now, is that a mistake there? Because Flippy has given a track position down for fresher tyres at the end then. Of course, I say, is that a mistake? Could we even question Flippy's tactics these days? Absolutely not. This man has been undefeated since the Canadian Grand Prix. Technically, of course, he did win on track in the British Grand Prix, but of course did block. I think he blocked. Did he block Delano? Maybe. And of course, ironically, they're championship contenders now. As told to Delano, he takes the lead here in Qatar tonight. I think Delano will probably be hoping for a safety car of some kind now. Kiki set the fast lap race because of course at this moment in time he is not in it to win it in this Grand Prix here. On board with Tori, who's in 5th position. Great driving from Tori since driving for the Red Bull. And at this moment in time, the Aston Martin drivers had a nameless in 8th position there, but this is during the pit stop, seeing RTP in 30th. Red Bull are going to extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. That Constructors' Championship is almost certainly going to go down to the wire in Abu Dhabi, which is not good for me. Not good for me because, unfortunately, we all know about my mass problems, so I'm going to be getting my fingers and my toes out. And luckily, because I'm from the forest, I have an extra toe on each foot, which is good stuff indeed, and also an extra finger in front. So that might make it a bit more. That might make it a bit easier because the championship is going to be so tight, isn't it? Delando leads there with Gamer in second position, and Kiki is in third. But Kiki has now got the attention of Mayran, who of course he overtook in the last up to. Mayran is, I think that he's had a bit of a so-so season. 3 pole positions and only 1 podium there, and only 41 points there for Mayran. Though I do feel that if he can get that consistency, very similar, I think, to. Very similar to potentially Percy, who had the pace there before he won the championship in season 9. Then had the pace there, but sometimes was involved in silly accidents and stuff like that. And now Mayran takes the lead there. But so if we can get that sorted, then I think Mayran could be a championship contender next season. Then. But of course, every time I do predict a championship contender, it doesn't go well. But the closest I've been was probably actually this season, where I've said Jay Hinks will be a championship contender, maybe win the silver title. He's 4th at the moment in the championship, is Jay Hinks there. So for once, I am not well off there. But I do feel that it's more the commentator's curse than anything else there. Unfortunately, it's just back on board with Flip at the moment then, potentially at the moment then. As it stands then, when all the strategy shakes out and all that kind of stuff, Ben, Flippy will be the championship there. So we've got and Snifflegate week as well. That was in Spain, and I was not very well. I really wasn't. Of course, it was a bad case of the man flu, and I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to being ill. To be honest, if I had a runny nose, then that's it. I will be. I'll be not going to work. I will not be commentating. I won't be doing anything. So, so there we go. Maybe it'll be a good opportunity to catch up on a bit of a box set. So maybe then Hamster Dog will get Netflix back soon, because I think Stranger Things 5 is out soon, isn't it? Which is good stuff indeed. I do love a good old Stranger Things there. Delano retakes the lead there as Gamer and Delano is trying to extend that. Do you think they're going to go soft tyres potentially, or is that just too risky? We've got on lap 18 out of 29 here. I feel that might be a bit too risky for me, as Kiki takes the lead. And look at that, Flippy has followed through as well. And now up into 4th position, Flippy is. He is ridiculously quick, is he, this man? Flippy is there on course to be crowned world champion from silver, which is mega stuff indeed. And and I think that it's been incredible since becoming a full-time driver. Only 1 retirement, and he's been on the podium ever since then. Archie Peters got past Vessier, and we've got an almighty scrap there, haven't we? And here they are now, as Vessier's trying to hang it on the inside, but the outside, or up the inside there into turn 2, and the Williams driver is through and up into 13th position, or holds 13th position, I should say. There, Farah's back in the pits, and sadly for Farah, another race there where he's been forced onto a 2-stop strategy because of early damage. So hats off to Farah for keeping going, because it can be very depressing being down the back of the field. I should know about it. Ahmed from Iran, then, he's a very good racer, but tonight he's unlucky, says Mohammed. Absolutely, sadly we said it on the broadcast as well, didn't we? As we was on board, I think, with Drugovic at the time there, as it was a half spin from Vessier, and sadly was just too close for Drugovic to take evasive action, and because of that damaged his front nose cone. Otherwise, I think that Drugovic would potentially be on course for points or just outside that. Delano in the pits now then. Luckily though for Drugovic there, he is on the hard tyres, and so does not need to make a second pit stop. Kiki then has lost the lead, and he's also good. No, not the lead. He's lost second position. Now he can lose the third position as well, because on the outside, not quite there. And Mayran takes keeps that 4th position. Look who squeezed through that. Duke has got past Toy. That is absolutely incredible. All for ultimate opportunist manoeuvre there from Duke. And now in the 5th position there is the RB driver. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Duke, and I think he wants a podium here at the moment. He can sit behind his teammate there, just take that DRS there. However, that might leave him vulnerable from Tory, so I'm wondering then if attack is the best form here of defence potentially in trying to get past there, as Kiki is now a second. Flippy is just taken off. There he is, and there he goes. Goodness gracious me, this might be the last we see for Flippy in this race there, because the action is going to be behind him. Flippy is just in a different time zone here today there. And most of the season as well, Flippy has been fantastic, hasn't he there? What a performance of Flippy. He is on course to be the season, the 9th champion of silver here tonight there. With just 10 laps to go, but anything could happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. Top 2, Mike then says, serious Russia, but no, the soft tyres suck. So I think that really puts the end to that a bit of thought-provoking conversation there. Flippy leads, Mayran is having a look, but well, Duke has dropped to about 5/10 second back in one there. But as you said, the 10-second penalty from Mayran, and at the moment, then where does it put him? I was just waiting for the gaps to come. Then he would drop behind Nameless, drop behind Jay Hinks, Camera Racer, Delando, and Gamer. Then so I think at the moment, then Mayran will drop down to 10th position. Then, but luckily for Mayranov, he does have 10 laps there to try and improve his situation. He might be able, but there's two medium runners out there now of Delano and Gamer, who will be coming through the field quite quickly indeed. But of course, the 10th position there, I think, has to be a minimum now. But Mayranov be kicking himself about that. And about not getting into the top 10 now, be kicking himself about that 10-second penalty, sadly, then, which is, a lot of drivers have done it this season. And I think that I'm surprised how many drivers have done it, to be honest. So I must say, because I've done it once, I think, this season, so I can't really be one to say anything different there, really, of course. But of course, I'm surprised though that. The amount of penalties we do get for 10-second penalties. We do get quite a lot of 10-second penalties for speed in the pit lane. At least one a racer. Flippy is trying to defend then, because the slipstream around here is quite powerful, these big old rear wings there. And Kiki has lost second position, he's lost third as well. And Duke might make 2 for the price of 1 here. Bug off! He has done it! And look, Kiki is back at the inside. As Kiki and Mayranov are fighting for position. On the outside goes Kiki. Mayranov trying to hug the inside, but no! Kiki is back into second position there. Sorry, third position. And now Mayranov is through as well. Unfortunately, I think we've lost Drogovic. Drogovic is that issue. Tori's having a 4th now. Incredible racing indeed there. So you buy one, you get one free, and that is exactly what Duke has done there. He got 2 for the price of 1. As he got a lapped car in front of us there. Hopefully, Drogovic can get back in the session. He's still in the session, actually, Drogovic is, but he's just a ghost of the moment now, and that's not going to help his. It's not going to help his case. You'll see on the left-hand side then is Liam. Is Liam going to go for it down into turn 1? Look at that then on the outside. That's what, of course, the outside there is the outside line on turn 1 is fantastic, isn't it? And great racing there from Liam and Billet now back up to 17th and 18th position there. Back at the front then, the gap has come down by a 10th of a second there. This race is not all done and dusted yet. There's Nigel then. Oh, what a shame for Nigel. It's 90th Grand Prix starts like that. It's not the way to celebrate, sadly, unfortunately. Has anyone got close to 47 penalties yet short, or is your record safe then? Unbelievable, Mushroom. How dare you throw shade on me like that? Coming into a turn 1 there. In my defence, that 40. Hang on, let's before. Of course, sadly, Mushroom, we can't dwell on the past. Let's go to the present. Oh, and there's contact there. As I'm thinking that's the Alpine there, or the Mercedes are forcing Nameless off the circuit. And Delano is not having any of it that he has to make hay whilst the soft tyres are shining. And he is now winning 7th position there. Look at the background. There's Gamer as well. He's also going to be on course for some major points work. He's going to be flying as well. These medium tyres are going to be absolutely working splendidly well. And of course, because they've only got to do about 10 laps in total, I think that they're going to be fine as a dandy. And now is Jay Hings is the next victim for Delano. We're on board with Delano, who is second championship number. I think the championship is coming to an end here today. Unfortunately for Delano there, which again, second. I think this is going to be runner-up for second consecutive season he's raced in silver. Just shows how good Delano's been, hasn't he? His record in silver is absolutely phenomenal as well. Always been on the podium more often than not, has Delano, and it's just been unlucky, hasn't he? There where potentially, I must admit, halfway through the season, I thought that Delano has got a 3-second penalty. That's the commentator's curse. I'm sorry, Delano. But as now we've got Kiki then, as Flippy has found a couple of tenths of a second on this lap. Kiki now in the second position. Duke is down into third. Fourth Victoria may run off in fifth position. Gamer set the fast up for the race there, as he is now starting to really put some pressure on the gaggle of 4 cars in front of him. Delano now up into 6th position now. Cameron 7th position. 8th is Jay Hinks there with X-Gamer with the beautiful Ollie Behrman helmet in at 9th position. And Nameless is in 10th as he's going this way and that way. And Gamer is, I'm going to look there. The Gamer, I'm going to look there, but no dice is Jay Hinks there. Doing a bit of horsing there as well. That is, this battle there is going to be quite ferocious, I think, there. But it might be short-lived as well with Gamer on the medium tyres. As Jay Hinks there parking it beautifully well then. Gamer cannot get through that. Goodness gracious me. Jay Hinks there parking his car right on the apex of the corner, and Gamer couldn't find a way to stretch those medium tyres, and because of that Jay Hinks keeps position there. But I feel that this might be a losing battle now for X-Gamers. Drogovic hasn't come back in the session. That's down to 60th position now for Drogovic. Such a shame now for Drogovic because he was having a very strong debut there before he had issues there with Vessier. Vessier's actually done a good job actually to get up to 11th position today. I'm very impressed 17th, but he does have the attention of Irvine now right behind him. Whoa, is that, oh goodness me, that made me jump there. I was like, what's that? That's Nigel sadly being lapped then, unfortunately. It's coming out of the final turn now, as Duke is now looking for 2nd position. He's got past Kiki. What about Jay Hinks here? Look at this, as a Gamer is trying his fights in the Aston Martin, but Nameless, I think it is, not too far back either. No, it's not Nameless, I should say. And look at that there, this camera has dropped down the order. He's lost 2 positions there, as X-Gamer's down for 8th position. There he goes. And my word there, as Jay Hinks there is somehow fended off Gamer, who's been on these medium tyres, but this could be it then. He's going on the outside. Duke's got a 3-second penalty. That could be costly for his foul. Contact between the 2 cars of Gamer and Jay Hinks, and now Gamer diving up the inside here as he's getting very ferocious there, and all Gamer shown in the rear wheel. And Jay Hinks has to get out of that one now. Goodness me, luckily that both cars didn't end up in the gravel there, as it was getting very ferocious, wasn't it, between the 2 drivers. But X-Gamer's now in the 7th position there, as Jay Hinks down to 8th, and it's now going to have to repel the attack of Camero and Nameless in full 9th and 10th position. And Irvine is now past Vessier in number 2 11th position. Duke's got a 3-second penalty, so that leaves Kiki and Tori currently on the podium as well, and so those drivers just need to stay within 3 seconds of Duke, and the penalty is there. Because Flippy is now 2 seconds up the road there, and that is looking very strong indeed. Then Kiki, though, I don't think Kiki's a man that likes to stay sat behind any drivers for too long there. Kiki is now up into 2nd position there. 3rd position is the Duke, and now, but here comes Mayran on through as well. Yellow flag, we've had an issue for Bill out there, as through goes Tori, and through, as Duke is off the circuit there, as Tori is now up into 4th position there. Jay Hinks and Gamer are still renewing hostilities here in the battle for 7th and 8th position. My goodness gracious me. Oh gosh, so lap at 25 then of this as Vessier and Irvine also swap position once again for the battle for the 11th and 12th position. I can't take my eyes off of this battle at the moment. It's incredible stuff indeed. Has Duke got an issue? Because Duke is struggling there to get out of the corners. Has he got? I don't think he's got any damage there. Jay Hinks and Gamer. Because this could be the end of season rivalry then to really hot up the battle in the midfield. Of course, X-Gamer driving as a reserve driver. Driver of the day is out at the moment. It's Flippy, Kiki, Tori, and Irvine there for driving data. So get your votes in now, ladies and gents. Going back to Serious Mushrooms comment there, because I had to defend myself, of course. Because yes, I do have a 47-second penalty in this race, but it was a 4 race, and also I got 2 penalties when I ran out of fuel this corner here and the corner before. So technically this wasn't my fault. Even though while I was driving off the circuit, I may hear you ask that. That's a different story for a different time then. Over the line then, Mayran up goes to 2nd position now. He does have a 10-second penalty, sadly. Tori is in 4th position, and I would surmise that Duke had issues there, but absolutely not at all. He's back on the gas now. As we rejoin this incredible scrap between X-Gamer and Jay Hinks, I'm surprised that X-Gamer hasn't just taken off here and just left Jay Hinks, Camera Racer and Nameless in this dust, but certainly hasn't, has he? I wonder if those medium tyres are starting to struggle now as well. Good evening to you, Rocket. Great to have you in the comments today as well. And also good evening to Goddard as well, then, who's been reserving for silver and has had a great couple of races the last 2 races, hasn't he? Goddard's, I think, had 15th and 14th now, and in bronze that is points there. So good stuff indeed for Goddard. And of course, Rocket Lee has rejoined the Williams team as a full-time driver, which is to my chagrin. Why do I say that? Because that means one more driver that is going to finish in front of me, which is the reason why I finished 16th and not 15th in the Brazilian Grand Prix. But of course, we have to blame Mr. Lee for that, don't we? Because otherwise I would have won that Grand Prix. But sadly, I cannot rewrite history. Dear, oh dear. It's just on board once again there with Tori that is at Nolsey then. Evening, sir. It's good evening to you, Nolsey then. Of course, Nolsey has rised up from his bed, I'm sure, or wherever he is at the moment there, and probably hopefully got some night nurse on the go as well. Awesome, Vic. Apparently, if you rub Vic on your, as Kiki has got past me, ran off, if you rub Vic on your head, this is completely different, by the way, as Nameless goes at 9 fastest. If you rub Vic on your head, that actually takes away your migraines and all that kind of stuff. Well, I used to suffer really bad from migraines, I must say. I haven't done recently, touch wood, but having said that, I'm probably going to suffer from that one now, I know. It's just in time, actually, because if I've got to go back to work tomorrow, then actually that'll be quite good indeed. Drugovic back in the session there, but sadly the damage has been done for Drugovic, down into 17th position, and I think that Drugovic is going to struggle to make up all that time he lost. I think he's been out of the race for about 7-8 races now, hasn't he? You love it, Sean. I absolutely love it. Of course, Rocket Lee getting on the podium as well last week. Really good stuff indeed there for Rocket Lee. And to be honest, Rocket Lee has had everything but the Grand Prix win so far, but I do feel that Rocket Lee, I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but I do think if there's going to be a new winner before the end of the season, I'm going to bet my bottom dollar it's going to be Rocket Lee. I know there's only 2 races to go, but Rocket Lee probably could have and should have got a Grand Prix win by now. But sadly, in Grand Prix, there's so many factors, isn't it? Very much like Jean Lacey, Jay Hings got a penalty, Mayranoff has got a 13-second penalty now as well, so just not happening at all, sadly, for Mayranoff. But I don't think that should change. Well, it might change his outlook ever so slightly, but it won't change his outlook on battling for the podium now. As back through and up into 2nd position there, but Kiki, I think, will be very happy just to sit behind him, but he can't, because once again Tori is aiming for his 2nd podium. No, he is. Sorry, I think he would have got the podium last week, but now aiming for his 1st podium of his career in silver here tonight. Fantastic stuff indeed. There, as you can see, there this may run off Hopston, and yeah, Rocket Lee. It's very much like Jean Lacey, isn't he? Because Jean Lacey had so much pace, so much pace, and just so much bad luck. He could have won the Italian Grand Prix in '95, could have won the European Grand Prix, but Schumacher was in absolutely incredible form. What's happened? There's an Aston Martin right off the circuit. It's Nameless off the circuit there. And that is going to be joyous scenes there for the Red Bull team. But Nameless off the circuit. And it was getting a bit fruity, wasn't that, in that battle for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th there. But Nameless is going to be out of the points now. And Irvine, who's had a pretty disappointed season, could be in the points there with just 1 lap to go. Nameless will probably stick it out now to the end of this one. But I do, Villa's got a 10-second penalty there. Villa's going to be cursed. But I think there's soft tires going on. But having said that, they've left it too late because they're going to be all a lap down, surely. Out the final turn there for Torres. Just going to keep stock now, isn't he? But he does have Duke behind him as well. But Duke does have 3 seconds of penalties. There are the penalty situations at the moment there. But no one could come close to my 47-second penalty. That Williams are coming out of the pits there. Luckily that Williams are far from ghosting there. But I think that hesitation is going to cost someone. I think it might cost Mayranoff because Duke. Whoa, who's off? That's a McLaren. That's Kiki off the circuit. Oh my goodness me, there's debris there for someone. And there's Kiki. I may have lost the podium. Oh no, on the final lap. The McLaren driver's been peerless today. Apart from Flippy, oh dear, and Kiki is furious there. It's the Nameless there who's got 2-second buffer. Oh my goodness me, and now it's opened up the podium. I wonder if Tori is, yes, it's Tori with damage there. Tori and Kiki have come to blows. The Duke is now going to be on course for a podium here shortly now. And Delando, who was doing the inside score Flippy by 2 points, that is not going to happen unless there's issues for the championship leader. But at the moment, it's not going to be the case, is it? Goodness gracious me. Oh my goodness me. Now as we come into the final couple of turns, and here he is, and Flippy What an incredible season this man has had then. He is about to be crowned world champion for silver in this 12th race, and this will be a 6th Grand Prix win of the season. He's been on the podium 8 times. Flippy is the world champion of ALR Silver Season 9. Flippy wins the Qatar Grand Prix. And what an incredible performance. In just 12 races, Flippy has won the championship there, I think. Fantastic stuff indeed for Flippy. What an incredible, incredible race that was there for Flippy. And my goodness me, since stepping in foot at the Kick Sauber, he has just been in incredible form. Magnificent stuff indeed there for Flippy. He is your silver season 9 world champion there. And magnificent stuff indeed there for magnificent stuff indeed there for Flippy, and my goodness me. So he basically wins a race in wins a race in every 2 Grand Prix, does Flippy. 12 starts in silver this season, 6 Grand Prix wins, 4 pole positions, 9 podiums I should say. And magnificent drive indeed. Flippy, your champion then, since joining the Kick Sauber, 1 retirement and has not been beaten on track since the Canadian Grand Prix. Did have that penalty in Silverstone, but since Silverstone has been in relentless form, and that is his 6th Grand Prix win in a row for Flippy, and he wins the championship for silver. And Flippy has done it. Kick Sauber are having an absolute incredible period here in ALR, aren't they? Fantastic. 2 Constructors' Championships in gold and bronze then, and now a Drivers' Championship in silver. Fantastic stuff for Flippy. And there he is there, and congratulations, absolutely. As I have applauded Flippy, I know that he can't see this, but it's been fantastic stuff nonetheless. My goodness gracious me then. As Rocket Leader looks like Loop is now has to win to make it a triple drivers championship. That's absolutely incredible, and Luke still has a growing opportunity to win it as well. Congratulations, Flopfish. Congratulations, Flippy, says Goddard as well. Of course, Gordo in here as well. Hello, sorry I couldn't make it tonight, but good luck for the last couple of laps and had to do something at the last minute. Unfortunately, we'll be back next week. So good stuff indeed there for Gordo. Let's take a final look at the classification then from the... Oh no, I've turned the stream off. Let's have a look at the classification then from the Qatar Grand Prix. Flippy, 6th Grand Prix win in 12 races. Second is Duke. Great drive from Duke today. I was saying that with that 3-second penalty, I don't think he was going to get the podium, but fantastic. Tori in 3rd position, his first podium of his career. Delando in 4th. Great recovered drive from Delando, with Jay Hings 5th. Mayran on 6th position. Gamer, Camera 7th and 8th. 9th is Kiki. 10th is Irvine. RTP 11th. Nameless 12th. Kydal 13th. Fesher getting that pass up in 14th. Drugovic in 15th. Lehman 16th with Reflections 4th. Bill and Nigel then completing the runners and riders in silver. I must say, silver has so many lack of DNFs, and the most DNFs this season is Nigel with 3, and the rest of, and a lot of them have got 2, and some haven't even got any DNFs at all. Fantastic stuff indeed then. But however, and let's just who's driver today? I forgot to tell you that, guys, as well. It is Flippy down 50%, and absolutely do not disagree with that whatsoever. He has been superb stuff, hasn't he? And of course, winning the championship as well, which is fantastic stuff. But right, I think I got Flippy in the comms box, haven't I? So let me quickly get myself sorted, and we'll get going from that then. Flippy, what a drive today from yourself. This has been superb stuff indeed for yourself this season. But I must admit, I thought you might have made a mistake there and not coming to the pits on the same lap as everyone else. But you just powered through as well. Tell us about that racing, because this is the first time that you could officially win the championship today. Did that give you any extra pressure in this one?
Yeah, obviously the championship contention thing gave me pressure, of course, which means that I had to put more practice in. And luckily it's Easter, so I've got more free time, obviously. And yeah, coming into the race, I'm pretty confident following last night's podium in gold, which adds to the confidence as well. And for the pit stop thing, I knew that I was going along on the mediums because in my practice races, I knew that my pace on old mediums is basically the same as on fresh hards. So I saw that as an opportunity to just stay out long, 1 or 2 laps on mediums, and just have the tire delta, so I can actually try push through and get the DRS gap that I needed.
And you certainly did that then. And I must say, and then after that, was it a straightforward race then? Because you just powered through everyone in incredible, just pace. Really, you was absolutely unstoppable. You just powered through, and then really you took out, then you just took out the DRS gap out of the question. Then and then literally it was just a breeze on the second half of the race. Was it a breeze? It looked like a breeze.
Not really, because Qatar, its nature is just penalties everywhere. So basically, I had like 10 laps of just me on like hanging on a cliff or something like that, just trying to not get any penalties and stuff like that. But both the V Cuppers like had incredible pace, so basically I was lucky that they didn't catch up. I think that has to. I think that was because of Kiki or and the other guys kept like battling and switching. I think that if they just let both the V Cups lead, that they would have definitely caught up to me. But yeah, just good race and yeah, really happy with the championship, of course.
Yeah, let's talk about the championship now because because I think that's definitely going to be the main story today. In your 12 races, you've won six races and had nine podiums. Since you've become a full-time driver, you have only finished off the podium once with that retirement in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. You've been in absolutely fine form. You have not been defeated at a race since Canada. That is absolutely redonkulous. Of course, you did have that penalty in Silverstone, but six race wins in a row. How you've just steamrolled to this championship. I think that this domination, this Schumacher-esque kind of domination there. How are you feeling at the moment, Because I must admit, I'm struggling to describe how incredible you've been.
Yeah, I think that six race wins in a row has to thanks to my first race win. Because after my first race win, it was like a couple 3 months ago. Everything just kind of went to plan. Like my pace just kind of popped up nowhere, and yeah, I think that has to do with the setups I'm given. Because after esports, all the setups I'm giving is pretty good, and that helps as well. And also the confidence, of course, after winning my first league races, I just kind of broke the glass ceiling. I think is that the saying, but yeah, just confidence and the setups and yeah, actually game practice in and yeah, that helps a lot with pace and consistency.
I know we've got one race to go then, but what is the highlight of your season? Was it that first Grand Prix win? Was it tonight then, or was your highlight yet to come this season?
I think the highlight is Silverstone. I think because that race was probably the best race of my sim racing kind of career so far. Just boxing on those inters and just pushing like mad for like 10 laps and catching up the nameless was pretty iconic in my point of view. So yeah, although I didn't keep that race win because of my blocking and quali, I think that's the highlight of the season for me.
And of course, we do have one more race in Abu Dhabi in a week's time. Then, of course, that's that can be a bit of a celebration then for yourself. I'm already thinking about gold next season because you look like that you should have been in gold already because that incredible podium last night was absolutely incredible stuff. But do you feel that you could then go from silver to gold and win the championship next season, or am I getting too far ahead of myself?
Yeah, definitely not. Because after last night, I saw the race pace by the two by I think it was Immortal and Sam. They had like incredible pace on those bad, really bad hards. So yeah, I think quality pace wise, on this game anyway, because new game of course and it's an unknown. But on this game anyway, I think quality pace wise, I can probably qualify top five in gold. But race pace wise is the main gap issue for me to improve in next season in gold, of course. And also next game, yeah, that's a big unknown as well.
It definitely is a big unknown for next season. And of course, next season, I think we're going to have about, of course, a couple more races. I think we'll go back up to a 20 race season potentially. Um, do you, going into next season then as well, how do you prep then, or do you feel then that driving in silver has given you the best way to know how it's going to be in a full season of gold?
Yeah, this season in silver, you just kind of gradually build up my kind of consistency before the races, the pre-race kind of warm up and stuff like that, and just ritual and just calming myself down and everything else at the same time, just learning, I guess. Like for example, the quality block in Silverstone, that just although that cost me the race win, but I take that as positively. Just I'm never gonna do that again because I learned from that. But yeah, just good learning season, obviously, and really looking forward to racing God next season.
Congratulations, Felipe. What a season you've had then. You've been fantastic. You've broken so many of previous records in terms of number of race wins in a row. It's been absolutely superb stuff indeed. Flippy, you're champion for season 9. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. Duke, you finished, I think you finished second or third. I must admit, there's so many hullabaloo going on that final up there. But finishing second, I must admit, I was selling you a bit short after that 3 second penalty. I thought it would have been very difficult to get on the podium, but yet here you are.
Yeah, I think first of all, congrats to Felipe on the title. And then for my race, I had a bad quali, and from there was basically trying to keep it within the white lines. I managed to do that in the first stint, but then I think in the final 10 laps or so, I was pushing, and then I set limits twice. And I noticed Flippy. I don't know how, but Flippy managed to break DRS to Kiki. So when I managed to make my way to P2, I was trying to work with Kiki. But then for some reason, when he was ahead of me, he was saving ERS instead of pushing to catch Flippy. So the one chance I managed to get back ahead of Kiki, I decided to really push, which was what made me get the track limits. And then I settled for P4 at that point. But then final lap, I saved a lot of battery in case there was going to be any chaos, which was exactly what happened. So it was more like I settled for P4, but then in the end, I managed to finish P2.
Yeah, talk about that chaos as well, because we missed it on the stream, but it looked like Kiki and Tori came the blows then. Did you see anything about the incident at all, or was you more concerned about fighting with your teammates?
Yes. Okay, so on the final lap, I think want to go onto the straight. I can't remember. I think my teammate was in P2, and then Kiki and Tori tried to. Kiki managed to pass him. Tori also managed to pass him, but since they were side by side, I managed to get both of them. So I managed to get my teammates, and then Tori was just ahead of me, and Kiki was right in front of Tori. And I think Kiki lost the car, and Tori couldn't react in time. So they both took each other out, and then it was basically like they cleared the path for me to follow.
And then after that, then it was kind of a simple race to the second position as well. And I must say that I'm already earmarking you for a championship contender next season. Then, because you've been supreme. I kind of put you in the same mold as Flippy in terms of like the new generation coming through silver. And next season, I do think you're going to be one of the favourites, if not the favourite from next season. But how can you? Again, same question I said to Flippy actually. Am I just getting too far ahead of myself because there's a new game and anything could happen?
Yeah, that that could count as well because there's a new game coming. But then again, I think the biggest thing I need to work on is my consistency because the pace is actually there. And for some reason, I don't know why, but whenever I don't really practice for races, I tend to do better than when I really practice for the race. On Friday, I had a little bit of practice with Flippy, and I did a 20.8 in quali as well, which was exactly what Flippy did today. But today I couldn't even break into the 120s. So I think before this championship season starts, I think I'll try to work on my consistency. I think that's the biggest thing I need to work on. And if I can manage to work on that, then I think the pace is there. It's just my consistency that's lacking.
I know. What's your aim for Abu Dhabi then? Because at the moment, I think in the championship, you might be able to squeeze fourth position there out of Jay Hings there. I think that maybe Nameless is a bit too far out of reach then. So going into Abu Dhabi with not much to fight for, do you still struggle with motivation, or is there always the wins the motivation for you?
Nah, I'm yet. I'm actually yet to race. So Abu Dhabi, I'm also looking forward to a good result. It used to be one of my worst tracks, but for some reason, I had a race there last week and I performed really well. I think I did my PB in the session, so I'm looking forward to Abu Dhabi. If I can replicate the pace I had from last week, then I think I should be fine.
Really good stuff today, Duke. Brilliant job in second position. And Flippy, your new champion for silver. What an incredible result that was there. And that is going to be it for silver then. Tomorrow night it is gold then. And we could potentially crown a champion for gold. Sorry, not gold. For bronze then. It is Dan and Luke then. The showdown in Qatar. I cannot wait. A showdown under the lights then. Dan, a 19-point gap over himself and Luke at the moment there. Can Luke be able to keep his championship I hope alive? And we have a showdown in Bahrain, in Abu Dhabi. That'd be fantastic stuff indeed then. Of course, Kick Sauber already constructors champions in gold and bronze. Now they got a drivers championship in silver. This is fantastic, isn't it, for Kick Sauber? Join us tomorrow night for bronze then, where potentially be crowned our third championship of the season. Cannot wait. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.